Hi, this is Nate Whitman with R2 Acres. So for a while now, I've wanted to get into beekeeping, and I never knew quite where to start. And I looked at traditional beekeeping for quite a while, and never quite made sense until I ran across something called natural beekeeping. And it made sense, and I like the concepts behind it. So since I've been wanting to do it a while, and we've moved and we're no longer in an HOA, I decided to try it. So today, on the way home from work, I went ahead and bought 5 swarm traps, 90 laying frames, 2 beehives, and 2 bases. Some assembly required. Over the next couple of weekends, I'll be building it all, and I'll show you how I built it. I found all of this on a website called horizontalhives.com, and I'll put a link down there. For the hive, the pieces of plywood that go inside need little notches cut out of them, like this. So I'll mark it and I'll cut it with the jigsaw. I'm going to mill some of the pieces for the beehive right now. So we need it to be 1.5 inches tall, and it only needs to be 3/4 inch wide, and I'm using 2x4s. The reason is I need to cut a 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch notch out of here, and it's much easier to do in one chunk. And then I'll turn it this way and I'll run it through and we'll cut it into 3/4 inch. But let's get started. This piece is going to be the side of the lid. So we're going to have 4 5/8 holes each side, but we want them to slope up, because that way if rain is coming and it hits, it won't go in, because it'll have to go uphill, and water doesn't want to go uphill. So I've made just a little thing out of some scrap wood to hold my piece and allow me to drill easily. So as this comes down, we'll get it in there at the perfect angle. And we have all 4 of them done. Okay, we have our pieces cut and milled. Now what we're going to do is we're going to glue it all together. So remember on these sides how we drilled our holes, and we want to make sure that as water comes in, it doesn't run inside, it has to go uphill, keep it out. So when we do that, we'll make sure it's set to always drain out. And it's a little windy today. So put a little glue on there. Now let's glue the top on. Oh, that side. And I'm just aligning one corner first, and that way I can just kind of push this and work it to where I need it to be. Okay, we have the top done. The next thing I'm going to do is assemble the hive. And on mine I did a dry fitting, so that's when you put it together without any glue to see if it goes together or if it's too tight and won't work. Mine was too tight, so I took my sander and I just sanded a little bit on each side here and it fits together. So let's go ahead and assemble. And I could staple, but I don't really need to because we're going to have a lot of staples as we staple the bottom and back on there. So I'll just put a little bit of glue. And staple our bottom on. One of the things I liked about this hive design is that it's insulated to help the bees stay warm in the wintertime and cool in the summertime. And for that, I have some 2-inch insulation. And this stuff cuts really easy with just a utility knife. Good side. All right. Okay, let's do the sides. I have a little bit of a chip of the plywood here, so I'm going to put this on the outside because this piece here, that's what the frames are going to ride on. So I don't want to have a frame kind of riding on that and missing it. Now you'll notice, maybe you can see it, let me see if I can get it up, how this doesn't quite line up. That is intentional. It's not supposed to, because that's a little lip for the frame. There will be a piece on the outside that makes it align. I'm putting the lip around the top now, and this little lip piece right here, that's what the lid is going to sit on. And it helps if you put a clamp on it just to hold it as you're stapling, because otherwise the force of the staple can push it right off there. One change I've made from the design is I'm putting a piece of 2x4 in as kind of a little wood spacer, blocking. The reason for that is this is kind of heavy after it's done, and for ease of movement I'm going to put some handles on there, and this will help with just having something for a handle material to screw into. Remember, as you put the long sides on, how it's not going to line up perfectly with the top? That's just to give it a lip for the frame to sit in. And also, as you can see, I have a little screw in here. I drilled and countersunk that so that the end could get a little tighter. Okay. That piece is a back piece. That's going to add a little bit of stiffness and stability, so when we put our outside piece on, it won't have so much flex. And this will be the back of the hive. So now, let's insulate the sides and put the back cover on. I'm now going to install the front side. So right here, this is a piece of blocking. In a hot climate, it's recommended you have a 4th vent at the top. So that's what that's for. And if you notice, I did mismeasure, there's a 1/4 inch gap here. This bottom one, that's blocking so that when we drill the hole for the bees to enter, that we have something to go through, we don't go through insulation. Okay, with our box all assembled, it's time to make the holes so the bees can get in and out. So I have an 1.5 inch hole saw, and if you remember this is a 15-degree angle because we want it to go up into the hive so that as you're coming in, if water hits it, it'll run out, the bees can crawl in. So, use this as my guide, get my angle right. And we have a hole. Okay, we're ready to finish our beehives, and it's a very warm Texas day, so I'm going to try to finish this quickly. But what I have is some aluminum screen, and we're going to put it over the holes here. That's going to help keep bugs out. So let's get that put on real quick. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to put a little lip around the outside. That's going to keep it from dropping down because we have our holes here and we don't want to cover that up. That's our vent. So I'm going to grab one of these pieces, put it in here. This is set to 3/8 of an inch. This is kind of a rough guide. I'm going to put a clamp on, hold it. I didn't measure the other side yet because what I like to do is do one side and then I can use this as a gauge and this is a hinge to line that up. Clamp this. And we have the lip on. All right, let's put our sheet metal on the top. This is aluminum, so it won't get quite as hot. I've marked it and I've cut a little bird's mouth out. That's going to help as we fold it over. And working with sheet metal, always wear gloves. I cut myself all the time on sheet metal. So I'm going to line this up. And just use the weight of the box to bend it. Okay, now all I have to do is just finish stapling this side. And our lid is done. We'll do this other lid, and then we'll finish up the boxes. Okay, let's finish our box. So I have these corner guards. It's just a piece of aluminum I bent, same stuff as the roof. We're going to put these at each of the corners. So I'll get that on there. Okay, our corner guards are on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these little vents on. This is what's going to allow the bees to come in and out. So fully open, kind of a mouse guard, only allow bees in and out, and then closed off. So just visually align it. Okay, now that we have our guards on, full open, just vent, and closed off. Because these insulated hives can be kind of heavy, I added something the original design doesn't, and that's handles. So I'm going to add handles in. And now, these should be all ready for our bees. And here they are, finished hives.